This video will show the development of two miniature Dachshund boys. The mother is a miniature dapple Dachshund and this was her second litter at age 4. The puppies are about 1 hour old. The dapple puppy was the first born and weighed 240 grams. The red boy weighed 213 grams. They were born approximately 30 minutes apart. The average litter size for this type of dog is 4 to 5 puppies. The birth of these puppies is shown in a separate video and is linked below if you would like to see it. The birth weight can be very variable and depends on the breed of the dog. As a guide, it's 3 to 5% of the non-pregnant dam's weight. So for this dog, her non-pregnant weight is 5 kilograms, so that would result in a puppy weight of up to 250 grams. This is the next day. The mother's much more relaxed and the puppies' bellies are much fuller. Foxy's a great mother and didn't want to leave the puppies for the first few days. She had to be carried out to the garden and go to the toilet, and I had to bring food and water to her. It is important to monitor the weight of the puppies to ensure they are getting enough milk. As a guide, the birth weight should double after about 8 days. The daily weight gain is 5 grams per day per kilogram of the anticipated adult body weight. So if the adult dog weighs 5 kilograms, that would give 5 grams multiplied by 5 kilograms, which is 25 grams per day expected weight gain. The puppies suckle every 2 hours for the first 2 weeks. The puppies are now a week old. They love sleeping together and feel safe when they are touching. Here you can see the big sister is cautious or even a bit scared of the puppies. She's 1.5 years old at this point and was a puppy from the first litter. Foxy never showed any protective or aggressive behaviors, but this is a natural instinct in dogs which serves to protect the newborns. The eyelids open between 10 and 14 days. However, focusing can take 3 to 4 weeks. The iris is blue or grey initially, and the colour would change at 4 to 6 weeks of age. The ears also open at 2 weeks, but the puppies will respond to certain loud sounds before. Shivering reflexes will only take place after 1 week. Spontaneous toileting occurs from 3 weeks of age. Gradually, the auntie develops a bond towards the puppies and even helps clean them. There is a lot of sleeping in between feedings. They would always crawl towards each other for nap time. After 10 days or so, the mother would find her usual spot on the sofa and sleep there when the puppies were fast asleep. She would always keep a watchful eye on them and would never be further than a few meters from them. The puppies are getting stronger and more mobile, their voices louder. The sister is being much more involved with the puppies. She is constantly checking on them and is spending more time being closer to them. The boys have turned 2 weeks old. As this was the second litter, these puppies had to be named with the letter beginning with B. The dapple was called Bagel, and the red boy was named Bumblebee. Here the puppies are practicing their growls. This caused great concern for the mother and sister, and they would always come and check up on the puppies when they were making these noises. At 3 weeks, Bumblebee, the red pup, weighed 918 grams and Bagel weighed 948 grams. The mother always made sure she was cleaning the puppies. This would also stimulate them to drink. Sometimes the pups would block the other one from getting milk, but they always worked it out eventually. At 3 weeks, everyone is more relaxed. The big sister is more playful with the babies. The mother is also feeding them while standing. This will also improve the puppy's muscle strength. Movement is more controlled and they are much more curious. At 4 weeks, the puppies became more independent and inquisitive. They were exploring their environments and willing to move further away from their mother. Foxy, being a great mum, would always have an eye on the puppies and would gather them in if she felt they were getting too far away. They took notice when their environments changed, for example when they were taken to the office or the garden. They would go to the toilet outside of their bed. They were able to climb in and out of the bed relatively easily. The dapple pup was a little faster in learning compared to his brother. At 4 weeks, the milk teeth have come out and are very sharp. Bumblebee weighed 1.09 kilograms and Bagel 1.15 kilograms. The weekly gain was usually between 200 and 240 grams. I began to offer them puppy milk. I would have to keep the mum and sister locked away as they would have drank it from them. This is why you can hear the sister whimper. The mother is always cleaning the puppies. She's beginning to distance herself a little and giving them more independence, but she's always close by. If one squeaks, she's quick to check in on their well-being. They are more awake and spend more time playing. Here the socialization period is very important. The puppies began to play with toys. It is important to choose items that are puppy safe. They shouldn't be able to swallow any parts. I like the Kong toys and the ropes. They are also eating solid foods at regular meal times. Puppy kibble is small in size and the wet food has a mousse consistency, so it is easy to eat. The only time the puppy run was closed was when the pups were eating their solids, as the bigger dogs would have eaten it from them, or at night time. Now the puppies have turned 5 weeks old. Playtime has become much more rough. At 5 weeks, they learnt how to climb over the edge of the crate so they could run around the room freely too. The room was puppy safe. That means no cables were free and there was no danger of injury. I would close them in at night or when they were fed the solid food. I had a routine which would help them for when they go to their forever homes. I used a puppy run to keep them safe. It prevents injury and ingestion of foreign bodies or chewing on cables. As there was a small ledge, it meant the door could remain open and the mother could go in and out as she pleased. I used a plastic sheet at the bottom, which makes it easy to disinfect and clean. I also used different surfaces like blankets and towels so the puppies would get used to walking on different flooring. I rolled blankets and towels around the edges so they wouldn't get caught in the baths. This is especially important when they are small. They had a bed which was their safe space. So if they were tired, they would make their way in there for nap time. Later, I placed a puppy crate to get them used to being box trained. This is useful later when they travel in cars by themselves without their mother. At 6 weeks, the play is much more rough. They would have their crazy 5-10 minutes and then it was nap time. Here the puppies got to experience the nice comfy bed. As they were not toilet trained yet, this was only a special treat. I also took them to work every day. That meant they were box trained and used to traveling in the car. They also met work colleagues, so they were not just used to me. Here the puppies have turned 7 weeks old. Socialization is very important. Introducing them to well-behaved dogs and people will help them build confidence. I took them to other places with a sling bag. This was easy for me as I only had 2 puppies. They could observe the mother and sister on walks, as well as seeing cars and traffic, other dogs and people. I would love to take them to the forest. The mum is teaching her babies how to play. She's being very gentle and encouraging them to move and play with her. They often use these moments to try and get a quick drink. Here the mother and sister trying to teach the puppies chase. I also showed them chickens so they don't have the chase instinct. I introduced them to the forest and an open grass area where they could run around freely. This is good as they are quiet spots and they have very little contact with other dogs as they have not received the vaccinations yet. Parvovirus is an example that can infect young dogs, and so dog parks should be avoided at this stage. Some mornings were frosty, so I had to make sure there was plenty of running around. I ensured they walked on different surfaces like gravel, grass, roads. I also took them out when it was dark. Now the dogs are looking much more like Dachshunds. The nose has become longer and the bodies are more sausage-like. They are more playful, awake, more inquisitive and curious. The puppies were learning that it is good for them to do the toilet outside. The puppies have turned 8 weeks old. As the puppies are growing, the demand for milk is also increasing. It is important to ensure the mum is producing enough milk. A way to check this is to weigh the puppies regularly so that we can check if they are gaining enough weight. It is also important to check that the mother doesn't have mastitis, which is an infection of the teats. You can check this by making sure the teats are not warm, hard, or painful to touch. You can also express a little milk yourself to make sure the milk is white in color. It should not be blood-tinged or dark. The puppies have begun to understand the use of puppy pads. I used washable incontinence pads for people. I prefer using these as they are more environmentally friendly and the puppies don't chew the plastic. Breeding should be done responsibly. Only dogs that have passed the breed-specific requirements should be bred. The Kennel Club requires Dachshunds to have a DNA test and an eye examination by a certified eye specialist every 2 years. Be dog show judged and have passed a behavior or an obedience test. Other breeds will have different requirements like elbow and hip x-rays. The mother should be fully vaccinated and regularly wormed. It is best to ask your local vet for the recommendations depending on where you live. The puppy should be wormed from 5 weeks of age on a monthly basis until they are 6 months old. The puppies grew up healthy. The mother was placed on a puppy food from 3 weeks of pregnancy. She had a healthy weight, was not too fat. She had good milk production. All breeders should make sure that they have a commercially available colostrum, which is the first milk, available at birth in case there is a problem with the milk. Once the puppies ate solid food, I tried to keep meal times at regular times and they were fed 4 times per day. At 8 weeks, the pups are getting ready to go to their forever homes. They got their first vaccine at 8 weeks of age. They were microchipped and got their EU passports. They had to practice wearing a harness. At first, they were not comfortable for them, but they quickly got used to wearing them. They are both doing well and have both found fantastic homes. Both pups left weighing around 2 kilograms. The second puppy to leave went on the evening toilet walk with the lead. It was a little hard to keep up. I thought he would miss his brother when he left a few days earlier, but he seemed to be happy to get all the attention for himself. Thanks for watching. See you again soon.